In 520 BC, Jewish refugees returned from exile to find their ancestral home in ruins. Instead of a glorious kingdom, they walked into a landscape of shattered stone and overgrown weeds. These people were poor, exhausted, and surrounded by hostile neighbors. As they looked at the massive task of rebuilding the temple by hand, many doubted if their small, primitive efforts carried any weight at all. Zechariah arrives to address this despair. He was both a prophet and a priest, and his name provided the first hint of his message. It means the Lord remembers. He assures the discouraged remnant that God has returned to them, promising that these ruined towns will once again overflow with prosperity and peace. Zechariah illustrates this hope through a series of vivid night visions. In one, he sees Joshua the high priest standing in a heavenly courtroom, dressed in filthy, ash-covered rags. Beside him stands an adversary, Satan, pointing to those rags as proof of the nation's guilt and their unworthiness to rebuild God's house. But the Lord suddenly silences the accuser. In a sudden transition of light, the filthy garments are stripped away and replaced with clean royal robes and a brilliant turban. The vision makes the point clear. God has sovereignly pardoned the leadership, replacing the shame of exile with the vestments of holy office. With the people forgiven, the visions shift focus to the spiritual purification of the land itself. Zechariah sees a 30-foot flying scroll hovering over the streets, inscribed with curses intended to purge the community of thieves and liars. Next, he sees wickedness personified as a woman, trapped and sealed inside a lead-lidded basket. Two winged women appear to lift the basket, carrying it away from Israel and depositing it in the ruins of Babylon. These images show that God is not just asking for new stone walls. He is actively removing systemic corruption from the foundation of the new community. The scope then widens to the entire world. 4 chariots, pulled by horses of different colors, come charging out from between 2 glowing mountains of bronze. These represent the 4 spirits of heaven, sent to execute judgment on the global empires that oppressed Israel, finally bringing God's spirit to rest. After these visions, God commands Zechariah to perform a highly unusual act. He is told to forge a crown and place it on the head of Joshua, a priest, not a king. This points toward a future figure called the branch. This leader will merge these 2 roles, sitting on a throne while also serving as a priest. This council of peace between the 2 offices suggests a leadership that can finally reconcile the spiritual purity of the temple with the sovereign rule of the throne. In the final chapters, the prophecy breaks away from the local concerns of 520 BC and looks toward the end of the age. Zechariah describes the arrival of this king, not as a conqueror on a war horse, but riding humbly on a donkey. The prophecy then shifts to a final global conflict where the nations gather against Jerusalem for a definitive battle. In this moment of intervention, the Lord stands on the Mount of Olives, and the mountain is split in 2 from east to west, creating a massive valley. From this transformed city, living waters flow out to heal the earth, and the nations come to Jerusalem to worship. This is the message Zechariah gave to the builders in the mud. He showed them that their small daily labor in the ruins was part of a larger architecture that leads to the restoration of the entire world.